Hi, it's Joey, and today I'm going to be watching The Dragon Prince Season 4, Chapter 5, The Great Gates. I am so excited to jump into another episode. The previous one was fantastic. Thank you so much, Albert, for sponsoring, and let's go! I know, my love.
Callum, do you know the draconic word?
Slightly weird, but also lovely.
Callum, are you okay?
No.
Not really.
Do you want to talk about it?
You should, whether you want to or
Ding,
not.
ding, ding! Meeting time! My sister.
How do you know?
It's like she said. It's all connected. It must have been
Your
Erebos
dad's alive
whispering to
again
my
too.
dad through this mirror all along. Plus, that's her bracelet.
Bless this thing. I was about to say that that was such a really insightful thing from Soren, and it was.
We have to find.
I don't know where she is, but we do know what she's looking for.
Mm-hmm.
We have to find it first. Zubeia, you told us that Erebos' prison
So we're
was
gonna have to go to
secret,
all the other
that
dragons?
each of the archdragons had a piece of the puzzle.
Rex lives beneath the great mountain of Umber Tor.
Will he help us?
We fly. No, you stay here, Zim. It is too dangerous.
Oh,
I will not lose you again.
baby. She loves you, okay? What is this thing?
Behold the messenger of Erebos. Guide us.
You are still a
Direct us to
zealot.
our destiny.
I expected that. This is... Children need to be amused somehow.
I got it! Sir Sparkle Puff. See? It likes it.
Look, who cares what it's called? Is it gonna lead you somewhere? I can say us, I'm not on this team. Because there'll be a purpose to this strange thing.
It's nice being
Who's staying with
this
Zim?
time. Humans, elves.
It's kind of the humans to bring their court jester on the train.
I'm the head crown guard.
If your sword is as sharp as your wit,
Oh,
then the
bless.
Young King is in good hands.
Wow. Thank you. Dragons are so nice.
Bless him. He needs some positive reinforcement in his life. I wouldn't have said that necessarily at the beginning of it all, but
Right?
no, this is a symptom of a bigger problem that you need to do something about, and I don't know what.
The great
Something.
mountain of the
He's brave.
I'm not sure if...
Oh lord. You know why now did we have the child going out first? Shielded by our dragon queen.
Not accepting visitors.
Maybe try back next century.
Hey, I know you guys are just trying to do your job, but...
I am the Dragon Queen! Open the doors, or I will reduce you to pebbles!
This is one way to do it.
We accept your argument.
Of course you do.
Very logical.
How long has it been since the doors were opened? She's a good little big protector of her little friends.
It's blocked.
Those weren't there 80 years ago.
God, is Rex Ignis even alive? Oh dear, it's broken.
How can anyone expect to make sense of these inane gestures?
A river, a
It's
boat?
complete nonsense. Lizard in a hat.
Well... Did I get it?
Maybe. Maybe you did. He seemed happy with that.
The entrance lies in the Drakewood.
Oh, that
Deep
sounds
within
like a good
the
place.
Uncharted forest.
Directions or...
Well, it is the uncharted forest.
Right.
It's very reasonable.
Don't worry.
Stone shall
Soren,
shatter.
pay attention.
Lava shall boil.
We have a way with grumpy monsters.
But it's like, yes. I gave them many years of practice. I am the grumpiest of monsters.
Wait,
Oh lord, are they also going to
He's still
Rex
trying to
Ignis?
communicate. Lizard in a hat?
The mountain?
Lizard in a hat!
Ayla? Huh? Shh. Okay, okay. Excuse
Soren,
me for
just
trying
maybe
to
your
ruin
quiet
that
voices.
step.
We come in peace?
Riders are known for viciously protecting their turf from trespassers
Oh great.
and then throwing them into a hole called the Pit of Despair.
Even
Okay,
better.
That sounds bad.
You can't just go off alone.
Okay, fine.
No, I'll stay with Ezrin. Soren, you go with
Oh,
Rayla.
Callum's still avoiding
You
her a
want an
little bit.
adventure, right?
He's avoiding
Good
her
luck, Rayla.
because he
You'll find
feels
it in
big
no time.
feelings.
Let the adventure begin.
But remember, Soren, inside voices, or even better, silent voices.
Precaution against what?
Reprisal for you being extremely disrespectful of someone else's beliefs.
I worked my hands raw for these elves, and now look at what they've.
Why did you come here in the first place if you were this willfully ignorant of other people's cultures? I mean, now that her hands are hurt, I do understand her being very upset because, like, she's in a lot of pain and she was physically attacked. But the way she handled the whole situation, did she come here so she could lord herself over people?
To me.
So, things are tense.
Yes.
Yeah, great evil
If
about
they're
to be unleashed,
protective of
potential
their,
end of the world and all that.
If the people are protective of their area, maybe don't destroy it as you walk through it, leading a direct path to you.
Look, when you left, it hurt him bad. Real bad.
He's so emotionally
He was
wise.
miserable. Sometimes you need time to work through the weird. And then it'll work out.
Always says that.
Or not. The heart do what it do.
Is the prism going to be in that hole in the moon?
Sorry.
Oh lord. This is not going well.
Watch carefully. This is how it's done.
So these aren't willingly ridden creatures.
You big dumb beast.
Is it a dragon?
We have to do something.
No,
He's come so far.
risk being seen, one Soren. There's too much at stake. I'm leaving, and you.
I kind of agree with both of them. Like, I think we should stop and help people when they need help. But at the same time, like, right now, every single person here could die or be enslaved by Erebos. We should probably deal with Erebos first and then look into fixing things in the Blackwood,
better be
maybe.
right behind me.
Where... And with Soren, you might want to make sure he's right behind you.
You look like you might have some big feelings.
This isn't a big feelings time, Az. We gotta
Yes, it
stay
is.
alert. We don't know what's out there.
Yes, so you made a fire to attract attention.
Whenever I close my eyes, I'm back in that moment. It was awful.
I know it was, sweet
I
boy.
know you're hurting, but
I'm talking about Erebos.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right
he
now.
took over my whole body and used me like a puppet.
oh, right.
He thought you
That
were
makes a
having
lot
big
more
Rayla
sense.
feelings.
I don't know how to feel about Rayla either.
Yeah, a lot
She's
of
been
big
trying hard
feelings
to
in a
get
little
things back like they
person.
were.
It's so hard.
I know,
Lots of
my
things are hard,
sweetheart.
Callum. Like magic. But you figured that out, didn't you?
Bless this little
Yeah.
wise child.
Somehow relationships seem harder.
Bait was like, I know. Tell me about it. Oh, Soren. You are a good person.
Pick on someone your own size. This dragon's much bigger than me. Also, who are you?
Hoping Rayla comes back to help him because the size difference is a lot. Now, Soren is extremely skilled. Get better.
Yup. Oh.
So rude. Dragon, yeah, fight.
This fabulous guard.
He's resourceful, I'll give him that. But that was a hard throw.
You don't want to be here when that kid comes back with more villain types. Whoa, hey, hero here. I'm trying to
Oh
help
lord.
you. Go on, go, noodle. Ugh.
Now, does it want to help him? Was it kind of okay with the situation it was in, or is it just he doesn't know how to trust anybody?
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not. I don't really want Soren to go to the pit of despair, please. No.
Wasn't a lizard in a hat. Home of the great Rex Igneous.
So the
You can go
dragon
to the
must
pit of
know where
despair.
Erebos is imprisoned. We split up, and I assumed. Oh, he's fine.
He's not
Watch,
fine.
He'll come back reciting an epic poem about.
I think he's in a bit of despair. At least there are some very hard-looking mushrooms. It's gonna be okay, Soren.
Really sorry about throwing gourd goop on you.
Not the same one, is it? Oh dear. Okay, so I am, concerned for Soren, but I'm also very proud of him. Like, yes, he made some dumb decisions, and to be honest, going into that situation was very dumb. He was very blind to the whole actual, like, dynamics of what was going on. There could have been other people watching in the trees. Like, it was stupid. But it shows such a marked change in who he was, that he thinks for himself. He doesn't let other people influence his decisions, because it would have been very easy for him to say, oh, you're right, Rayla, I'll go with you. But instead he thought, well, no, fuck it, I want to go and do something good. Also, he regrets his previous mistakes when it comes to dragons, and he's trying to make it, like, he wants to protect people, and he wants to protect people that are being hurt, creatures that are being hurt. And I really, really respect him for that. Yes, it was typical Soren, it was the dumb thing to do really in the situation, and now he's in the pit of despair with another dragon, but maybe he could, I mean, this dragon must like the pit of despair, because otherwise it could probably fly out. I don't know the situation. So hopefully Soren will get out of this, because he's Soren. I think it could be actually really interesting if Viren, Claudia, etc. are travelling to the same place, if they run afoul of these same people and also were to end up in the pit of despair, for him to come so face to face with Claudia and or his father so soon. But I also don't know whether that will happen right now. I hope the other kids will figure out Soren is in danger and maybe come get him. To be honest, I think trying to talk to these guardians of the Blackwood, it's not called the Blackwood, but I can't think what it's called, I'm sorry, might have been a good idea. But at the same time, they're clearly a very independent culture, or someone that is very hostile to outsiders. I know words. So things aren't looking good for Soren. Now back with the Sun camp, Sun elves. They've just been, I think, on top, from on high, because Queen, I know her name, I can't remember it now, I'm sorry, and Amaya are falling in love. They are in love. They want to get married, they love each other. Because of their bond, and because they were able to fight together in the big fight and everything, I think there was this belief that, oh, everything's just going to be fine, and the two different communities, they're just going to fit together and it's all going to be great. When that isn't the reality of any two cultures coming together, especially when you're coming together in a difficult time where people are suffering. They do need to deal with this, and I think in a lot of ways this is quite a timely representation of a lot of differences in real life society and the way people act. The woman, the architect woman, is still in the wrong. Yes, she's the victim of the burns, and I do think he should, go to some kind of anger management classes, or, the equivalent. Like, I do think that, like, we shouldn't let the grieving elf off just because he was grieving, but I do also think he was grieving, and you just, like, desecrated his mother's soul. It wasn't even like she just put out a birthday cake, and upset his kid or something. It was a very big attack that could have retaliations. If someone walked into a funeral and threw the coffin on the floor, dragged the dead body out and then started screaming, cursing or whatever, you would be horrified. That person would go to prison. What she did was just as ignorant, and I think maybe there was a lot of naivety in the people on Hyde, assuming people on both sides would be a lot more understanding of each other than they are capable of being without more information and education. But we will see where it all goes. I knew it was too good to be true in the first episode when they were getting engaged, and I was naively like, oh, clearly relations are going well, or they wouldn't be taking this. No, they're just taking this step regardless of the relations. I think it is still a step that should be taken, but it is a very messy situation. Then with Viren and Claudia and, was it Sir Sparklepuff? It was something like Sir Sparklepuff. That can be his name. The creature is very strange, but clearly maybe that's all Erebos was able to create. He couldn't create a creature that could speak or communicate, but he's able to get his point across, and basically they just have to follow him, and eventually they'd probably be like, I think we're in this place and this is what we're doing. It is concerning, to say the least, that they're going to the same place as our gang, but it does also highlight the fact that we are on the right track, that we do need to go to these different dragon holds and find this evidence to figure out where his lair, prison is, so that we can keep him there. I kind of wish there was some way that Zubeia, that is her name, right, the Dragon Queen, could like summon all of the like heads of the different dragon groups and be like, bring your special piece. Like, you know, she's the Dragon Queen, but in some ways it kind of feels like, obviously she has the power and authority. When she arrived, she felt like she could just demand entrance because she's the Dragon Queen, but it's not a role with like that kind of authority that, you know, if Ezra needed something from all of his nobles, he would just summon them to the court and they would all come. So it's interesting to kind of see the different way dynamics work, and to see the way Zadia is so fractured. You know, like the human kingdoms are fractured into like 5 kingdoms, or however many kingdoms there are. Zadia is all of these different sects that some of them interact, but they are so independent, and like none of them are helping the Sun Elves. They could be fixing everything for the Sun Elves with their magic and their power and their resources so close at hand, and they're just leaving it to the humans. It's very interesting and does speak to, I think, a long way to go to improve relations between everybody. Then we have obviously the Chaos Kids. Callum is suffering, and I'm glad that they kind of didn't just have his only problem right now was Rayla. Obviously Rayla is a problem, and like he said, it feels stupid to be so concerned about this feeling, but that's life. That's the person you felt for. That your feelings are valid, whatever they are. Being both angry to see her and happy to see her, being hurt by her, those are all completely valid feelings, and I think they just need to talk more. I think maybe she needs to talk to him about what her headspace was like when she left. That she wasn't leaving because he wasn't enough, she wasn't leaving because she didn't want to be with him, but she was leaving because she couldn't rest without, I assume, I mean, we don't know yet, I don't think, I assume it was more along the lines of she couldn't rest not knowing if they were safe, that Viren wasn't going to turn out from somewhere else and she wasn't going to fall again. You know, I feel like she was suffering, and so she left instead of turning to the people around her for help. And, you know, that doesn't, I'm not like, that wasn't the right decision in a lot of ways, but maybe it was what she needed. So I just think they at some point need to be able to sit down and have a conversation. But they are also, despite everything they've been through and what amazing, strong, resilient people they are very young. And these are very big feelings. But I am glad that the thing, I mean, it makes sense. When he was upset at the beginning of the episode, I did assume it was because of what happened with Aravos. I mean, imagining that just this evil being that you barely know exists just reaches and takes over your body, and you're not in control of your own body. Your limbs are doing something you can't control. Words coming out of your mouth are not yours. That must be terrifying. You know, in that moment, he must be thinking, can you do it again? Am I safe? That just, it's such a violation. And, you know, he could so easily, if what would have happened if Aravos had tried to use Callum to harm the others instead of just taunting them, because none of them were going to like kill Callum to stop him. It's like, it just could have been a very, very dark situation, even darker than it already was, and that would mess with you. So I'm glad that we didn't kind of just move on from that. Like, oh, that was scary last episode, and just move on. This show is normally good for things like that. I didn't necessarily think we would, but I think they handled it well in a way that, you know, Callum sort of being able to say that to Ezra, and Ezra just assuming, because he was weird with Rayla, his reason of not wanting to go with Rayla. Now, what did he not want to go with Rayla? Because he doesn't trust himself right now? Because he thinks if he's out there, he could do something wrong? Or was it, I think he's putting distance between him and Rayla because he doesn't know how he feels about her, and it's very hard to articulate those feelings, especially when you're in the middle of a life and death adventure. Callum has a good brother by his side. He and Rayla will be fine. They just need to talk, and maybe, I feel like these conversations will probably happen in little dribs and drabs across the season. He definitely will be able to forgive her for what happened, but it's just, feelings are not black and white, and they are both very valid in what they are feeling. And I just want to give him a hug for both the Rayla situation and what happened with Erebos. Huge hug, and yeah, stress for Soren. Reminder that if you are watching this on YouTube, all of my reactions to this show are up on Patreon unedited, thanks to the wonderful Albert, and thank you so much for watching.